welcome back to Transition Dietitian, and today I am going to be talking to you about finishing up my food service rotations. I just finished up all 350 hours of my food service. I did those in a school setting. I did it at the local school district, a long-term care facility, and I did a couple at a hospital. So what I'm going to do for you today is I am just going to go through the ACEND requirements for all dietetic interns in the food service area, and then at each requirement I'm just going to let you know what kind of assignments I did to fulfill that, or just what task I had to do at the facility to fulfill that. So forgive me for reading off of my computer screen, but I just want to make sure that you guys have the most up-to-date information on how to prepare for your food service rotations for your internship. So the first requirement by ACEND is to complete the components of a quality management project in a food service setting. Now for this, what I did was I noticed that the banana cream pies at this long-term care place were not getting delivered at below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I did was I kind of wrote up the problem and then what they could do to address it and how it would be fixed. So I just said, move the pies to a separate tray on the bottom of the serving cart and then have the nurses just put the pies individually on the plate. And it did fix the problem. They were served at about 45 degrees. So that's what you're going to be doing there, is you're going to be finding something that you can improve with your food service knowledge, whether it be temperature related or sanitation, and then you're just going to write up a plan on how you're going to fix that. So that's the first requirement. The second requirement is to conduct a plate waste study at a school or a hospital food service facility and make a recommendation. So it's about as simple as it sounds. I did a plate waste study on this new tomato soup recipe that the school district was doing, and they wanted to know how the students were reacting to that compared to just the basic Campbell's tomato soup. And then I just wrote at the end, the fifth grader, 35% of the fifth graders really enjoyed the soup, and some comments they gave was that it tasted just like mom's. And so that's the kind of stuff that you're going to be doing with the plate waste study. Let's see, the next thing you're going to be doing is to review a food service safety program based on HACCP, and then you're going to recognize the strengths and weaknesses of the record keeping. So basically what you're probably going to be doing with this is an audit on a local kitchen in a school district or in a hospital, just to make sure that they are following all those HACCP guidelines and that they are documenting all the critical control points in their recipes. So that's probably what you're going to be doing there. Let's see, the next thing that you guys will be doing is to complete a scientific research module. This might be called something else in your internship, but that's just what it's called in ours. And you can do this one in food service, community, or clinical. I just chose to do mine in food service. So what you're going to do is you're going to just find a research article that kind of pertains to your preceptor's area of interest and where they're working. And you're just going to go through this checklist on how to read a research article critically, and then you're just going to write a little summary about it and then present that to your preceptor. So essentially that's what you're going to be doing for this one. So that one's not too bad. Let's see, the next thing you guys will be doing is to discuss with your preceptor local, state, and federal regulations that influence the food service of a long-term care facility. So that one's just pretty basic. You're just going to talk about that with your preceptor. So that one's really easy. You are also going to demonstrate the ability of computer hardware, software technology, and web-based resources, and you're going to follow facility format and guidelines when developing handouts. That second one is super important because if you are at a hospital, it's especially important because their branding guidelines are super strict. You can only use a certain color or a certain text, and they want to know that you understand that and that you understand copywriting of photos. I mean, you can't just pull any photo off of the internet anymore and put that into a handout, because this is a business and there's copyrights and royalties associated with pictures. So you're probably going to be using Microsoft Word or searching for those non-royalty photos. So just make sure that you understand branding guidelines for whatever facility you're at and how to use photos correctly in handouts and brochures. So what you're also going to do is to create educational materials for an in-service training for employees. So this might be like a new employee orientation, and you might give them a little brief overview of you know, the Serve Safe class that they're going to have, and then you could write a little pamphlet or a little brochure on the benefits of being Serve Safe certified. So it's just something that has to do with some kind of meeting with the food service employees where they get together. So your preceptor will definitely have something for you on that. They'll definitely be giving you something that they want you to teach them. You're probably not just going to be thinking of some random idea yourself. Okay, so another thing you're going to have to do is to attend or participate in a food service meeting with a member of your management team. You know, this might be a co-op meeting that a couple schools or a couple hospitals are in together. It might just be purchasing with someone else and just being there with your preceptor to purchase that or to witness that procurement. So, I mean, that one's pretty simple, and it's pretty fun to go to the meetings and see all the duties that the preceptors do when purchasing foods. So you're also going to give your food service preceptor, sorry, my dog is being crazy, you're going to give them 40 hours of staff relief. Now for mine, that was mostly through audits. I did a ton of audits because there were about 60 kitchens in the school district that I was working with, and I also made a video for some submission into the health department on a policy success story of theirs that they would normally have done, but they didn't have time. So that's where I did my staff relief. But you know, if your preceptor ever has to take a day off and she decides to put you in charge, that's going to be your staff relief. You are also going to use appropriate judgment when initiating change and improving quality in the organization. And you know, that's really just going to go back to that quality management project that you did. It's just going to show that you are critically thinking, that you're being flexible, and you're really thinking about what is the best interest of this facility. So those two are going to really tie together on that. And then you're also going to participate in activities to promote the dietetic profession and advocate for clients and or consumers. So this one's a little bit tricky. So what I did for mine was I attended this bike ride that just promoted healthy eating and gardening and safely riding bikes in our town. And so since there was that little gardening aspect, I was able to kind of teach people about the benefits of eating produce versus, you know, fast food. And so that really there advocated for our profession of being a dietitian. So that one was really fun. Let's see. You are also going to make a supervisory decision when doing your staff relief. This again will probably tie into that quality management project, the one with the banana cream pies that I did, because I was able to make the decision to say, hey, we're going to move the pies from this shelf down to the very bottom shelf, and you nurses are just going to put the pies on the tray as you send them. So that one's pretty easy to do. Let's see, you are going to plan and participate in a cafeteria or dining room promotion. So this could be, you know, a moonlight dinner that you have at a long-term care place, or doing a staff recognition day in the kitchen and just decorating the kitchen and the cafeteria to recognize the staff and for all the hard work that they do. So that one's pretty fun, and you know, you get to get the residents or the hospital clients involved in this. So that one's a really good time. Let's see, this one is pretty long, so you are going to have to write an employee schedule for one cycle, however long that may be. It might just be a week or it could be a month. You are going to review with the food service manager planning and goal setting for the department. You're going to review weekly, monthly, and yearly food service budgets. You're going to discuss menu costs in terms of food, labor, and operating fees. And you're also going to review the organizational chart of a hospital to see how nutrition relates to other departments. So this one is really just going to encompass all of the managerial duties that your preceptor is doing. And this might also be a different position from your preceptor, so you might be working with someone else. But this one's really fun as well. Let's see, you are going to as well, let me get to a good one. You are going to write a cycle menu for a target population. So what I had to do was write a 4-week cycle menu for gluten-free patients. So pretty self-explanatory, it was pretty fun. You're also going to do a sensory evaluation of a new food that a place is looking to incorporate into their menu. So I know at the school district I did a ton of these. I did some for tortillas, I did some for cinnamon rolls, and it's really fun to do, and you'll get to use all that information that you learned in class. Let's see, you're also going to review employee turnover and the procurement rules associated with that facility. And you're going to go through a lot of HR things like training and orientation for employees, and appraising and terminating employees, like how they would do it in that setting appropriately and professionally. And then the last thing that is on my list is to evaluate a facility's waste management or recycling policy. Just to see if there's any improvements that might be needed. Maybe you can give them a tip that they might not have thought of. And, oh, there is one more. To conduct a make or buy decision analysis. So this is whether they decide to make egg patties for like an Egg McMuffin sandwich, or they are going to buy the pre-made ones. So you would go through and calculate the cost of how much it would cost in like labor and supplies, and how long it would take to cook, and how reasonable it is, and then decide which option is best for them, taking into account all of those different factors. So that's really all of the food service things that you are going to be doing. Your preceptors are going to be giving you assignments that correlate with these requirements. Some assignments might fulfill 4 or 5 of these requirements from ACEND, but some of them might just be 1. But don't worry, your preceptor is going to have this all figured out for you. This is just really good for those distance students, because you are going to be marking off all of these requirements that you're doing and making sure that you do get all of these done in your internship. Because every single one of these has to be done no matter what. It's the same for all internships, these requirements. So my challenge for you is to get involved in your undergrad degree. Find out if a professor is doing a plate waste study at a local school or at a local hospital, or try and do a make or buy analysis just for fun out of your textbook. So you can really be prepared that when your preceptor comes to you and asks you if you've ever done sensory evaluation or have you ever done a make or buy analysis, you can say yes. You really want to impress them and give them a good view of you. So do all that you can in your undergrad to make yourself shine and to make yourself stand out. So that's what I have for the food service for you guys. Tune in a couple of months and I'll be finishing up my community nutrition. That'll be at the beginning of next year, and I will let you guys know what things you need to focus on in your school year to be able to rock that community rotation.